We're talking about Seth MacFarlane and his positive update on the status of the Orville season 4.
Mm.
And this is actually a hard one because, like, all right, how do we explain this, Shane?
Well, it says it all here. During the recent interview with Logically Speaking, MacFarlane provides a short but sweet update regarding the Orville season 4.
Yeah,
we're working on it.
We're working on it.
Let me tell you guys something here. I love the Orville. I love Seth. I love everybody involved in that project who was working on it. Let me tell you what Seth MacFarlane is not doing. He's not working on the Orville.
He's not working on the Orville.
He's not working on the Orville.
That doesn't mean there won't be an Orville season 4. Or a movie
or something.
Or movie, yeah. That can totally happen. But right now, Seth is not actually working on the Orville season 4.
The reason he's not saying is that he doesn't want people to lose interest in it. So, but the reality, instead of saying, look, we can't do it right now. We don't have the money. We don't have the resources. So, the Orville is on the shelf for now. And hopefully someday when we have the resources and the ability and all the other stuff and the desire, we'll bring it back out. Like, that's the reality of what the Orville is. Yeah. But he doesn't do that. Every time he's asked about it, he's like, we want to do it. We're working on it. Yeah. He's it's like when you're dating a girl, right? And you're like, yeah, babe, we're good. Yeah, I love you, babe. But you don't really mean it. Like, you're just trying to keep her there.
But you're swiping on Tinder on the way home.
With Ted and all the other projects he's got going
on. With Ted, some orchestra thing.
Which is fine. He can do those
completely
things.
Fine.
To do the
there is no Orville, though. You have to remember this. There is no Orville without Seth MacFarlane. So if Seth MacFarlane is actively working on something else, then he's not working on this. And he owns it. He can take it whatever he wants. But, Hulu didn't, renew it. It's an expensive show. And he now has an exclusive deal with Peacock, which means that if Orville season 4 did happen while his contract with Peacock was still active, it would happen at Peacock. It wouldn't happen on Hulu.
Right. That's a good point. And Peacock, I can promise you, is in no financial position to pay for that show.
Right. Yes. They're not in the financial position to pay for it. But also, what about the current contract he has with Orville on Fox/Hulu? They have like, if he has an exclusive deal with Peacock to work with them, then in order to do the Orville, they would have to sign up for it, but he would also have to, deal with the potential issues with their distribution rights at Hulu right now. And who knows when that ends. And we're not saying it's not going to happen, but what we're saying, when he says, like, we're working on it, we're cautiously optimistic, blah, 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 he just doesn't want to tell you what's actually happening. And what's actually happening is half the cast is acting somewhere else right now.
Most of some are on Ted.
Some are on Ted.
Yeah.
And he is working on multiple projects for Peacock that aren't the Orville.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the Orville takes like a huge amount of his resources. Like, he is, it doesn't work without him because it's like his thing. I mean, could he train somebody else to do it? Or he probably could, but the reality is the Orville's his baby, so he's not going to just hand it over to somebody else to keep it going.
Of course not.
And so until you see, like, I would say if you want to look forward to something on the Orville, I would say when you see Ted finish his run and you see his projects are kind of petering out a little bit, then that's when you'll see a surge of, well, maybe we should pull the Orville out of dry dock again and do something else with that. You're not going to see it until that. And that's probably going to be, I would guess, 3 to 4 years minimum.
Yeah. Omega says in the chat here, it says, is his contract with Peacock exclusive? I don't think he is, or he couldn't work on Family Guy. Well, I think Family Guy, and I don't know if it's exclusive. I remember reading.
I don't think it's exclusive.
I remember reading somewhere that he has a deal where he has to do like multiple shows with them.
Yeah, he's got a deal to do, a huge deal.
Yeah. So he has to fulfill that though to get paid. But he also Family Guy also has like, that's a separate deal he has with Fox or Hulu, whatever. And he's able to And that's a long deal. Like they renewed it for a long time. So even if he signed a deal with someone else, I think he's still doing Family Guy for a long time.
And he's doing very little Family Guy. He's got a guy that basically runs the whole show for him, and he comes in and does some voices.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. When we went to the Orville set, damn, that set was gorgeous. I mean, it was big and beautiful. And the fact that set is no longer there is like, whenever someone talks about another season of Orville, in my mind, I'm like, not only does Peacock guys, we went to the set. They built the ship. It was beautiful and big and very expensive. In order to do another season of Orville, not only do you have to get Peacock or someone to sign up for it, to foot the bill, he has to get the time to do it. And they're going to have to rebuild sets, like massive, huge, expensive sets.
Well, that's one of the benefits of being there and us seeing it is seeing how complicated it was, seeing what they built. I mean, it took so much time to put together that set. I have a hard time believing that once they tore it down, that it's not something they can just go put it all back up. It's not something that can quickly happen. It's going to have to be like, what's the plan? Like, are we going to do some movies? Are we going to do a season 4? If we're going to do a season 4, we're going to do season 5 because you don't want to do it for just one season. Right. So there's going to have to be a whole.
It would have to be more than one season.
Look at the Orville as like a stone that they got rolling. Right. And that stone rolled and it was cruising for a little while. And now it's slowed down and stopped. It's going to take so much energy to get it rolling again that they have to figure out if it's worth their bang for their buck. And while everybody wants to talk, whether it's Tom Constantino or whether it's Seth or all these people, they will continue to speak positively about it. The real people you want to listen to is like Adrian Palicki and some of the other people who have moved on that are just like, well, we want to do it, but they're telling the truth, which is nothing's happening.
Right. Yeah. I remember looking at that set and thinking like, I actually thought, well, they're going to have to do a season 4. I'm like, look at this set.
There's a whole lot that, besides the cost, you got Seth hated Fox. Hated. I mean, he got such Trump derangement syndrome during everything that was happening with COVID and all that. He really, really did. And he had this just absolute putrid hatred for Fox. And I think that played into part of it. He didn't want to be on that lot anymore.
Right.
And I think that was part of his Peacock deal. And I think that, the Orville didn't make as much money as it should have. It's expensive, blah, blah, blah. So.
And it wasn't just the set. Like when we went there, it was that giant, huge, massive hangar bay with the literal ship built inside and all the shuttles and all the greens, all the sound stages and all that. But then they also had a massive building with offices. Like it's not a small portion of Fox that you'd be working on. It's a large portion of
right.
It's a large building and a large hangar bay and a massive set. It was a big deal. I was actually shocked at how big it was.
Yeah, it was big. And the fact that Seth came out of pocket for season 3, now not a lot of people don't know this, but he spent a lot of his own money on getting season 3 done because it was so expensive. And he's just not willing to pay for it again. And I don't blame him. He did his thing. He did his Star Trek, which is what he wanted to do. And he's not going to keep coming out of pocket to get it done. And neither Disney nor Fox want to spend the money to do it. So,
yeah,
I don't know. High quality projects, great graphics, great team of creators. But the Orville, there's so many things going against it for it to be able to come back. It's just tough.
Yeah, and it's a bad time right now. It's a bad time.
There's no money.
People don't want to spend money on these big projects. That if they're going to do a project, they want projects that are affordable. Gone are the days where streaming service you're just like, hey, here's $1 billion, make me this, make me Rings of Power or whatever it was. It's just not the case anymore. Like the streaming services are being very careful now with their money because, that's what happens when you report losses for 3 years straight.
True.
Yeah.
All but Amazon, who seems to still be able to do whatever they want.
Right.
They have a whole e-commerce system backing up their play. So
that's true. All right. Well, either way, if when we get more information, whether it's public or we get it from Tom, whatever, and we're allowed to talk about it, we will, and we will always give you the real skinny, and we hope it does come back. But I think now this article is just
to come back.
It's just
there's a whole universe there to explore, Brian.
Right.
There's a whole universe. There's races. I mean, how often do you get in a franchise set up with a whole new universe to explore with people? It really deserves to be, I hope people write novels, and I know we've got some comic books and stuff like that, but
yeah, it's a fresh
it.
franchise. It's not like it's
Right.
80 years old. Like we don't have to
Exactly.
mine old stuff. Like we can go forward in a fresh. It's a really cool. I hope it comes back, but we'll see.
I do too.
Hey, if you like this clip and you want to see more, then click right here and become a member today. Also, we do a live show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, totally free. So come on down and hang out with us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll see you there.